Well, I think we can officially say that we are flying now. We've had an incredibly busy January transfer window, and while there are disappointments on the way out, there are a lot of big ins as we continue to samba this team up with Brazilians. We've today got a massive top of the table clash against Arsenal. We've got lots of cup excitement to look forward to as well. This could be a historic second half of the season. We've got to get it right, and next game is going to be a big factor in that. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 53 of this FM06 Let's Retro Save from Luton Town with me, Daniel. We are back today for first v second as we somehow find ourselves top of the Premier League. It's a very tight top four, and in 2 days time we could find ourselves in fourth again. But it looks like it's going to be Champions League football again, and now we want to dream of doing the unthinkable. We've also had incredibly fortunate runs in the Cups. We've got to the League Cup final, having faced a League One side in the semis over 2 legs. And having had a brilliant run, we've now got to face a tough game against Chelsea at Wembley Stadium. But our first Cup final will be coming in a future episode. We've also had a good run in the FA Cup, 2 lower league sides, and now Wigan, who are in the bottom half of this division. It's all looking pretty good in everything, apart from the Champions League, where we made history last time out, but now we'll face the Giants of Barcelona in the next one. And let me tell you, their squad looks a little better than Real Madrid. So it's going to be a big second half of the year. If you're looking forward to seeing how it goes, then please do chuck a thumbs up on it. But for now, we've only got one game today for good reason. Partly because we've got a lot of fixtures and form to reflect on, but also because it's been a very busy January. So let's go and have a look at what's been happening in the window at the club. So a very busy window for us with a couple of youngsters going out on loan to start with. Let's get the little ones out of the way. Brian Lake had been on loan at Crystal Palace and has now gone on loan to Derby. Annoyingly, he didn't play much at Palace, but he's going to get regular football at this club. He looks pretty good. Whether he's going to make it to catch up with us, I don't know. If we'd still been a Championship club, he would have been one hell of a youth prospect, even if we'd been a bottom-end Premier League club. But the rate that we've managed to progress here and the amount of Brazilians we've brought in has probably harmed his development somewhat. But we'll see how he gets on. Tony Armstrong, another one who's gone out to Stockport. He's okay, but he's not quite going to make it. And Kevin Gould is about to go out on loan somewhere as well. Not the best player in the world. So 3 players that have gone out on loan again, or 2 that have gone out and 1 that's about to, and a few players who have already left the club in the January window too. As we come to the end of the window, we have had 2 players leave permanently, with 2 more players agree to leave later on. So let's start with the 2 that have left already. Matteo Gallanucci was throwing his toys out the pram, wasn't happy being the backup to Zonneveld, who of course we know is out of contract this season. He's gone to Everton for 2.6 million, as we did incite a bit of a bidding war. It's also got a little sell-on clause on that one. But for a player who was okay but nothing special, and especially for a player we bought in for less money, a year earlier, the previous January, not a bad return for someone who only played 9 league games for us. A really decent player. I've got no complaints about his performances. It's good business, and we've replaced him pretty well, let me tell you that. The second one that went was sort of out of the blue. Came from nowhere as an offer, Dean Ashton to Hull City, and the problem I have with Dean Ashton is he's a good player, he's solid enough, but he was 28 now, he wasn't going to take us to the next level, and he was very much a backup player, and probably one of the candidates, if we'd stayed in the Champions League, that we'd be replacing in 1 to 2 years' time. And he was also picking up so many injuries that when Crouch wasn't available, he wasn't there to come in anyway, so it came a bit pointless having him at the club. So even though he did really well, and actually his final game, as you'll see in a minute, he scored a couple of goals, it was the right time to move him on. And again, we found a good replacement. So to get 3.9 million meant we could upgrade in the position, get a younger player, and someone who hopefully is a bit less injury prone. So overall, really good business. 17.5 million are total ins this year so far. And there's also going to be a bit more off the wage bill in the summer because 2 players are leaving the club. We've rejected loads of offers for others, and in fact, as well as Kevin Gould, Daniel Wilson is a young player who might be going out on loan. But the other 2 that have agreed to leave are Leon Osman and Mike Zonneveld. Now, Leon Osman makes sense. He's been a backup player. He's going to be 30 at the end of the year. He's fell down the pecking order. He's never really found that goal-scoring touch, albeit I do want to give him credit. He joined us when we got promoted. He became a stalwart in the team, and he did help us that first season. But after being a regular for a lot of last year as well. He's just fallen down the pecking order in the last year, and another signing has meant he's effectively useless now. So he's going to Sheffield Wednesday. And Mike Zonneveld, he was unhappy for about 3 years, wouldn't sign a new deal. And now he's going to a club down in a relegation scrap at the moment, Fulham, who are actually playing at the weekend. They're 19th in the division, and he's going to go there at the age of 30. It makes no sense to me. It's a strange deal because he's still doing so well for us, but Mike Zonneveld will move on with our blessing. He's been a wonderful servant. What a signing he's been, and for 3 seasons, he's probably going to get Player of the Year each time. But just a really odd move. And the fact that he hasn't ended his unhappiness to go to a bottom-end club does seem a little bit surprising. But there we go. All of the players that are out or moving out in the future have meant that we have gone big in the January transfer window. 4 big signings, and all of them are going to be key members of this squad. We have signed 2 left-backs, a midfielder and a striker. We've kind of gambled because we could only find Brazilians in our transfer budget. We tried to sign Leighton Baines again. We offered 16 million, including instalments, still rejected. So we had to take the Brazilian route in 3 areas, and we were able to do that because of the other free agent that was about. John Obi Mikel had been at United for 4 years. They're struggling in the relegation zone still, if we have a look at the table in 18th. So hopefully Company will be ready again this summer. He can come with a grovelling apology and we'll sign him. But John Obi Mikel, as a free agent, I can't turn this down. He's 23. He's exceptional. He's obviously a bit more of an aggressive midfielder in this game than he became later in his life. But he's still a very good pro. He's exceptional on the ball. He's brilliant physically. He's fantastic mentally. And the impact he's made is astonishing. He's become the new superstar already. And he might be the cover star more than once in these thumbnails this series. The other 3, though, we all had to pay for. A combined fee of what are we talking there? 9 and 6, 15 million for 3 Brazilians. The first 2 are both left backs to replace Gallinucci and Zonneveld in the summer. Gives them an opportunity to settle into life in a new country in the UK before the summer, as we did with Diaz last winter. And Fabio Santos is the first of 2 of them at 6 million quid. He's not bad, is he? A few little deficits mentally, but he is Brazil's first choice left back at the minute. And given the fact that we've had so many lower league teams in the cup, they've both been able to get some games. So really pleased with him as a signing. He's brilliant technically. He's a proper Brazilian footballer. And while he's not got that concentration or stuff, he's so good in terms of work rate, in terms of movement, in terms of his decision making, his creativity. He's got the lot. And physically, he's an absolute monster. So Fabio Santos, super signing, great addition to the team. The second one is going to push him pretty close because for 4.1 million, we've signed Felipe for less than half the wage as a backup player. Done really well in the cups again. Probably not quite as good as an all-round player, but arguably better as a defender outright when you're playing in those big games. Not far behind him in the Brazil pecking order, so he's 3rd choice, the other lad's 1st. He's just a good player. I mean, it's a really good deal for 4 million quid. And when you consider the 2 that we've lost or are going to lose, we're bringing in players, I would argue, even of better quality. Mike Zonneveld might want to dispute that. Then we got to the Dean Ashton situation, and I sort of had to panic. I nearly ended up with Paul Gallagher as an emergency backup. Nearly ended up with a couple of old boys. Some of you might remember Strayer, the old Swiss striker. We nearly ended up with him. But then Brazil delivered again. Roger has come in from Sao Paulo. Beautiful British Roger. What a player. 26 years of age, Brazil international, natural left-sider, 6'2", good in the air, good on the floor, quick, skillful, strong. He's got the lot. He's just an all-round brilliant striker. He scored 3 goals in his first 2 cup games, okay against pretty poor opposition. And if Peter Crouch now picks up injuries or drops off for any reason, we've got an equally good striker, maybe even a slightly better one, to come in and take over the mantle. And while we are at risk of becoming a fully Brazilian team soon, they're not bad signings, are they? I don't think we could turn any of them down. So a really good January transfer window. We've improved the squad massively, but without unsettling it too much. And the impact these boys have made, because they've been playing in slightly easier games, it's just all fallen perfectly for us. And that's why things have been going so well. So a few new superstar names at the club, but let's see how they've been getting on the pitch as we go and take a look at the long run of form over a busy festive period. You were last with me as we beat Olympiacos very comfortably, but then had that little European hangover against Bolton where Dean Ashton came in, couldn't do a job, where we had the likes of João Leonardo struggling with 2 or 3 games a week. We didn't have the backup for Zonneveld and he was knackered by the end. What we've done is beef the squad up again. We said we needed to, and boy, has it had an impact. Okay, we've not really had one of the more challenging games in the division yet, but we've responded and we've beaten what's in front of us on every single occasion. It's been the best run since I've been in charge, and we thank an awful lot of lower League Cup draws for that. We started with Manchester City in a League Cup quarter-final. A 3-0 victory. Gabby Agbonlahor in with 2 goals. Sean Maloney getting 1 as well. Good squad players. He's now our 3rd choice number 10. Gabby Agbonlahor, our 3rd choice right centre forward. It's not bad, is it, really? They're solid Premier League players. Then on Boxing Day, we beat struggling Man United 1-0. Shane Paul back to fitness and amongst the goals. A narrow victory against our fellow bogey side West Brom. Gabriel Agbonlahor and Shane Paul with the goals. Paul came on at 1-1, lobbed the goalkeeper with his first touch and won us the game. I have no complaints about that at all. Then we move into January. We were starting to struggle with players. We've had now Basagno on international duty. Davis went earlier in the month. He missed this game. We've had different heroes each time. Zonneveld scored 1 and Christian Portia popped up with a brace coming in as the number 10. Against Sheffield United at home, it was Shane Paul with 2 on this occasion. Peter Crouch getting back on the score sheet after injury and settling back into full fitness. Then we've had a run of really fortunate fixtures in the Cup. In the 3rd round of the FA Cup, we played Ipswich Town and won by 4 goals to 2. João Leonardo, Christian Portia, Gabriel Agbonlahor and Peter Crouch all scoring. Lots of players building up their fitness again then. And we went fairly strong because we knew we were playing Oldham 4 days later. And they were a League One side. We rotated and we still beat them 3-0. Dean Ashton getting 2 in what I think was his final game for the club. He might have come on against Blackburn. And Sean Maloney got 1 as a number 10. You can see from this team, bar defence where we've not got enough centre-halves, we did rotate pretty much everywhere. Against Blackburn, we were perhaps a little more disappointing defensively. Anthony van den Boer had an absolute stinker. Was actually rated 4 at half-time, having cost both goals when we went in at 2-2. He did recover a little bit in the second half. However, we still managed to find a way to win. Mike Zonneveld, Peter Crouch with a brace, and off the bench, a new hero. John Obi Mikel scored the winner, a crucial goal, an absolute legend. And that earned him a start, and he's not looked back because against Aston Villa, he came in from the start and he scored the first goal. We went 1-0 up in a 3-0 victory against Villa with De Cassie back to fitness, scoring a screamer, and Shane Paul making it a very comfortable day at the office. We then rotated fully, of course, for the second leg against Oldham, the most fortunate League Cup semi-final draw you could get. Roger got 2 on his debut for the club. Sean Maloney scored 3. He got a hat-trick and was absolutely brilliant. But again, at that level, he's going to be a superstar. Then we got Hartlepool in the FA Cup 4th round. A few former heroes in this team as well. Lee Grant, our promotion-winning goalkeeper. Who was the other one? I don't think he actually featured in the game. Carl Fletcher, we tried to sign a couple of times. But just nice to see a few familiar faces about there. A 3-0 victory. Agbonlahor, Roger and Maloney all getting a goal. Was a really nice, comfortable day at the office. And that's been the key really this month. Those games have allowed us to sort of rotate in full for midweek matches, and it's made a massive difference to where we are. So the team that's going to come out against Arsenal today hasn't really played since the Villa match for the most part and has had 11 days off. So at the end of the transfer window, we're in really good nick. But this is the first test we've had, I was going to say since Bolton, but that was just a fatigue thing at the end of the last episode and having so many injuries. With everyone fit, we look pretty good. I think it's probably our first big test since the Spurs game, where we struggled to a 1-1 draw, but even that was after a European hangover. Hopefully, that won't be the case here. Arsenal, though, as we've seen, are probably the strongest side in the division. We're still without Foley and Walcott, who have picked up injuries. Basagno is away on international duty. And Arsenal, on paper, are the best side in the division. They're in second place, and as I mentioned, there's only 4 points to 4th. We could be back in our rightful position very soon. If we become an established and expectant top 4 side, I think you have to say that's big progress for the football club. So let's go and have a look at the 11 I picked for today's game. A titanic clash at the top of the table. And this is the 11 that I've gone for. I think it's full strength. I think it's as good as we can be. Mike Zonneveld stays in at left wing back. He's still been playing well, bar the last match. The other two settled in, started to play games in the cup, but we're not going to go too quick with them. We want to build up their fitness. None of the Brazilians were playing over the winter. We've got to take it easy with them as well. We have, though, gone for João Leonardo at centre-half as a straight swap for Basagno. Curtis Davis struggling physically after time away with the internationals, but he'll come in today with Van den Boer on the other side. You know Schmeichel's in goal. Diaz and Zonneveld the wing-backs. De Cassie and Guarin are the two holding midfielders. Guarin's playing really well. De Cassie's fully fit. Flamini just returning from a little knock. Then John Obi Mikel is now the new star number 10. I mean, he's just top notch. He's going to improve as well. With Shane Paul and Peter Crouch firing them in for fun up front. Peter Crouch has really improved knowing that he's got more competition for places. He's the top scorer in our team at the minute. Hopefully, he can continue that today as we go into this one with a much stronger bench. Flamini, Roger, Santos, all top class. Agbonlahore's putting in goals. And we know Sean Maloney is in great form. Let's see if we can continue it against Arsenal. As if we can avoid defeat in this one, I might start to believe that we're in a little bit of a title race. Well, I know a couple of the stars are aging now, but it is still a very strong Arsenal team. You've got the likes of Omri, Fabregas, Reyes, Senderos and Touré at the back. You've got Johnny Heitinga added in there. Shortain's a brilliant striker. This is a very, very good side. But we're a very good side now as well. It's just whether we can cope in the long term. As that ball's in, Mackenzie, the right winger, the man we tried to sign last summer, who haunted us in the first game between the two this season. And Thierry Henry has done it before as well. As Senderos is in the box, Reyes brings it down. Good start for Arsenal. Zonneveld away. Crouch can now break. And this is where we've been so strong this year. Can we get the breakaway? As Crouch looks for the switch. Shane Paul goes up, wins the flick. There's no one there though. We are going to press high. You can see De Cassie's gone. Antonio Lopez will play downfield. Jortain will chase. Van den Boer goes across. Does well to start with, but not able to take possession. Though De Cassie loses out to Reyes. This is an Arsenal team that looks pretty up for it. I didn't see what cup draw they had as Zonneveld. He was there on the line if it was needed. But on this occasion, it wasn't. I just want to see, who did Arsenal play? They had Palace at home in the cup, who I think are in the Championship now, aren't they? They're top of it, but they're in the Championship. And they had a pretty comfortable day, and they rested near enough everyone. There's only, what, two of that team that started against us? Not sure why Ashley Cole's not in there, but apart from it, it's all pretty similar, isn't it? As Antonio Lopez on the left throws in, Leonardo heads away. Mikel challenging, but not able to come away with the ball. Philip Senderos to Munoz. I thought he was going to shoot there. As Omri cuts in on his right. Oh, sublime. Brilliant save from Schmeichel. That is prime Omri, cutting in from the left onto his right foot. No one can stop him. Leonardo away to Crouch. And that's the difference. When Omri's had a week off instead of having to play the Champions League game, probably still a different prospect. Even now at what, 33 he'll be. As Lopez gets down the left-hand side. We're defending resolutely so far. I'd like to see a little less of this game in our half as Zonneveld wins it back. Touré away. Zonneveld there again. The youngster Mackenzie gets there first and it's down the right to Shortain. Forces Davis wide, who we know isn't fully fit. It's the one problem in the team. As Fabregas' shot goes straight at Schmeichel. We've survived the early spell and now we've got our own chance from a set piece. It bubbles around towards Shane Paul. Header away. It's going to be as far as Van den Boer. Shortain beats him in the air. This is not good. Antonio Lopez down the left-hand side. Chance to cross. Instead, just play short to Munoz, and now Arsenal can work it down the wing again. Inside to Munoz for the second time. Space to run into. Shot stings the palms of Schmeichel, who clears it at a second attempt. It is all Arsenal, but while we cling in there, it's not too bad. Long ball forward. Jortain will chase. Van den Boer wins it for Crouch. Oh, one flick and we were in there. One flick and we would have been in on goal. As Paul goes up against Senderos, he's not going to be the favourite. Henri v Van den Boer, Shortain's up as well. Bit of aerial pinball. We're seeing a lot of this game and not a lot of chances. Though Shortain's in now. And there's the chance they were waiting for. It's been coming, hasn't it? I'll mention him again. He's a proper superstar. Still better than anything we've got up there. We're 20 gone. Arsenal lead 1-0. I don't think we can argue with that. The first big test in a long time. And it's certainly proven to be that way. Well, here we are again with 25 past. And it's Johnny Heitinga with a throw on the right. Guarin gets it back for Leonardo. Just wonder if we can settle down now. Mikel aims up towards Paul, but Senderos intercepts. Become a world-class defender in this universe. As Fabregas flicks the ball on towards Henri. Leonardo wins it. Mikel flicks towards Paul. We've just got to get it over Senderos' head and then we've got a chance. Mackenzie switched to the left-hand side, finds Munoz. And here he is again, Mackenzie. Into Shortain. Oh, I really wish we'd signed him. He's so good, that Mackenzie, honestly. What a young player he is. Why didn't you come to us? He's out of contract at the end of this year, but he keeps signing new deals, so I don't think we're going to change that. I think we've still seen when we play the top 4 or 5 sides, even when we beat Real Madrid, even when we beat Inter Milan at home, we got battered by them. You saw it with your own eyes. I still think of this 14 pack, we will probably finish 4th. But the fact that we're in a runaway pack rather than trying to sneak into 4th as Davis, what are you doing? Davis, what are you doing? We are crumbling. And this has now become a concern. I could have accepted losing a couple of goals, but we have crumbled. All good things must come to an end. And you can tell this is the toughest game we've played in a while. I haven't got any centre-halves fit to go off the bench either. We need Basagno back quickly. Poor half of football, poor outcome. But we're playing against one of the 3 teams in the league that are better than us. And we're in that lovely position now where there probably only are 3 that are outright better. But they are one of the 3. And they're taking the mick out of us here. Jortain and Henry up front is not something we can cope with when our best centre-half is away and one of the others is injured. Shortain scored 4 now. I've got to take Davis off. I know he's not replaceable because we've not got another centre-half here. Ferdinand wasn't fit after the 2 cup games. Basagno's away, but I've got to do something. I think Santos was awkward at centre-half. I'm just going to do it. I don't think any of the midfielders can play in there. They can't. So let's just go, unless Dicassi can, or unless Guarin can. We'll go for Santos at left centre-half. That's what we're going to do. And just preserve the legs, because we're going to need him next week as well. Roger is going to come on, not quite yet. I will bring him on for Crouch around the hour mark. Just keep him fit, keep building the fitness of Roger as well. Let's use this as a fitness exercise now, because he's certainly not getting a result out of it. Big damage to the goal difference as well, which ours wasn't the best of anyway. It was by far the worst, in fact. And if you look at that, you can see the other teams, they're winning games comfortably. We're relying on 1 goal wins each week, but that'll help. Crouch flicks onto the post, Paul puts the rebound in, and we get a consolation goal, which is nice at least to celebrate. But that is the difference. We're beating consistently all those bottom half teams by 1 goal, by 2 goals, but we're not battering teams. As Crouch is going to be replaced by Roger, we'll give we'll give Maloney a run out because Mikel's knackered. He's still building his fitness up. And Sean Maloney was genuinely sublime in those 2 cup games. Okay against poor opposition. We tend to go. It's just, can we prevent any more damage? And then you call this a decent game. We accept we're going to finish 4th. And in a way, that probably helps us. If we'd have won this game, I'd have had to think about, do we prioritise a title race? Because we might never get one again, as Roger heads just wide. Now I can look at it and say, League Cup final, priority. Champions League, let's go for it. FA Cup, let's have a go. Rodrigo Diaz picks up a knock. With Foley out, that might be a problem. I'm disappointed with the performance and the way we folded, but look, it's been a great run and we're now playing against the best team in the division. Arsenal, I think, will win it. Chelsea have won convincingly. Liverpool have won as well. We're going to be 4th of a 4-team mini league. I'll take that. I'll be pretty happy with it. But what it does mean, after all the excitement early in the episode, after the brilliant Christmas run, where obviously we've had easier fixtures, but we did really well, we can now focus on other competitions. And that is certainly what we're going to do next time. Because we've got a 3-game spell where we play Wigan in the FA Cup, Barcelona in the first leg of the Champions League knockouts at home, and then Chelsea in the League Cup final at Wembley. We will be back, I think you can probably tell, for the 2nd and 3rd of them. Barcelona at Kenilworth Road and Chelsea at Wembley Stadium. A chance at a first trophy, a chance to make more Champions League history. We have to go for it. And what it does mean is I will rest players against Liverpool in the Premier League now. We'll accept trying to be consistent against the average teams, and then we'll just accept being 4th because it's too early for us to win the title. Let's focus on trying to get a cup somewhere else, especially in a year where we've had such great runs to the final. The League Cup, we've played Manchester City at home, we've played Ipswich away, we've played West Ham at home, and we played Oldham in the semi-final over 2 legs. I mean, you couldn't ask for a nicer run. In the FA Cup, it's been Ipswich, Hartlepool, and now Wigan at home. They're opportunities. I feel we've got to prioritise that. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my decision on what competitions to go for. What do you think of the January work? Do you think it's the right decision overall? And how do you think we're going to fare in the rest of the season? Can we win one of the cup competitions? Or will it be a disappointing end to what has been a very good and progressive year? Do you agree with me to let the league go? Get your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one, a little bit of a humbling against Arsenal, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on as we're back tomorrow for our first ever domestic cup final at the top level. Will our Wembley memories from the Championship playoff final, with none of the players left virtually, still be able to ring around the dressing room when we go out to face Chelsea for the League Cup? Join me tomorrow to find out as we finish the week in style before the LMA stream replays at the weekend. But for now, thank you very much for watching as always. I'll see you tomorrow for the biggest game of the series so far.